And also, speaking of song, our next panelist has a deep background in music as well as theology and brings a lot of joy and dulcet tones to the Trinity Chapel here on campus. And Reverend Budgey, I've heard in many times with beautiful song in the Vespers moment in dialogue with the choir at Trinity. And it's a beautiful conversation musically when she is leading that service. Andrea completed both Masters of Music in Performance, Oboe, and MA in Medieval Studies, Celtic Languages and Literature and Music here at the University of Toronto, and in 2006 obtained her MDiv from Trinity College. She was ordained a priest in January 2008 and was assistant curate at St. Simon the Apostle in Toronto until the end of 2008. Andrea's been involved in a lot of community outreach and advocacy for the poor, for the earth, for the destitute for many years. She retains a powerful interest in ecumenical and interfaith work and welcomes constructive engagement with both seekers and skeptics. She was also a minister to the Occupy movement here in Toronto. She is on the advisory board and also advisory board chair of the U of T unit of the Student Christian Movement, and as a member and co-founder of the Sine Nomine Ensemble for Medieval Music. She sings and plays harp, fiddle, recorder, and percussion. Is there anything else there? And has directed a number of medieval liturgical reconstructions. She has been an instructor in Celtic Studies, Music, and English for St. Michael's College, the School of Continuing Studies, the Faculty of Music, and the Scarborough campus at the U of T. She is also a freelance writer and researcher, bookseller, and calligrapher, and has also worked in radio music production and concert management. So for your next concert, you know who to go for the promotion and management. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Andrea Budget.
Thank you, Stephen. I feel now that I ought to burst into song somehow. My college CV is weighted towards that end of the spectrum, and I'm afraid that's where that information came from. I'm meant to address the encyclical from an Anglican perspective, and that's one of those interesting quandaries I often find myself in. What is the Anglican perspective? We are not a centralized communion. We are a globally dispersed one, and national churches have their own approaches to things. I think many bishops in our church often wish that we did have a single unifying authority who could say things as there are in Laudato Si. Things that spoke to me. Well, I should say, first of all, it is rare for me to read a papal encyclical with as near unalloyed delight as I have this one. A few twinges here and there, but no, it is an extraordinary document. And the way in which it creates a kind of unified field theory of justice and the theology of justice is wonderful to me, because occasionally I hear people say, well, you can't be working on, poverty issues and refugee issues and the environment and indigenous solidarity because you're spreading yourself all over the place and it's incoherent and it doesn't make sense. Well, it does, and the Pope says so. So I'm very grateful for that reassurance. I think perhaps one of the most significant factors for me coming out of the latter part of the encyclical is the use of language around, well, the English translators have said sobriety. That has some curious connotations, which I don't want to go into, but for me, sufficiency. There's a lot of theological talk about prosperity. That, we want prosperity for everyone. That's the goal for which we strive. And the municipal poverty reduction strategy, about which we've had quite a lot of discussion in our social justice and advocacy group, came out with the name TO Prosperity. And it's a good piece of work, and it's sending us in some very interesting directions on hearing the cry of the poor. But at the same time, as long as we're thinking about prosperity as some kind of ideal, as a kind of endlessly receding goal to which, towards which we're growing, I think we're going to end up with the kind of problems that Pope Francis describes. And the use of sobriety, sufficiency, restraint, and with that restraint, gratitude for the gifts we receive from the earth is the beginning of shaping a future in which we relate to the earth in a completely different way. There was a big gathering of Anglican bishops from various parts of the globe shortly before the encyclical, very much looking forward to it. And they titled it, "The World is Our Host," which is a bit quaint, but at the same time, it conveys that sense that we're not here by the inalienable right of our domination, that there needs to be a graciousness in our relationship with the earth, in our relationship with the other people and the other beings who inhabit the earth. Anglican perspectives again. One thing which isn't particularly explicit in the encyclical, but which I think is a matter of dimension and of expanding what's there, is the whole question of colonialism and our relationship with indigenous peoples. Now, I think for Pope Francis, he's not neglecting the question of indigenous peoples, that is there in the cry of the poor, especially in his part of the world. There's a very, very strong connection. But the Anglican Church has been embedded in empire for such a long time that for us, dealing with the heritage of colonialism as a kind of precursor to dealing with global capitalism is important. And in Canada particularly, we have just gone through the experience of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and we are beginning to understand how to repent, beginning to learn how to try to reconcile with those we have injured as part of our connivance at colonialism and imperialism. And it's not that those forces politically have gone away, but they've shifted and turned into something larger and more dangerous in a way, something global. And our national Indigenous bishop, Mark MacDonald, talks about second wave colonialism when he talks about fossil fuel and mineral extraction, about the kind of corporatized industrial practices that are most harmful to the earth and to the indigenous communities that live most closely in dependence on the earth. Now, that sentence is a bit of a nonsense in itself. We are all dependent on the earth. I should say those communities in which the dependence is most explicit, perhaps. So that what we need to do in responding to this fantastic document is to find a way to take what we have learned from processes of repentance for our own colonial attachments and make that work in the kind of work that Pope Francis is calling us all to. And we're not any of us going to be short of work in the project that he's laid out before us. But I think that it's also a very hopeful document. The line that came out for me, all is not lost. Human beings, while capable of the worst, are also capable of rising above themselves, choosing again what is good, and making a new start, despite their mental and social conditioning. And I think we're all here because we want to help make that happen. Thank you.